made a comment a few videos back of actually finding myself struggling to stay in one spot when I find comfort in it. And I wanted to indulge myself a little bit more with that topic this week. Because from a very young age, I'm sure you've also heard this saying that was told to me a lot, where nothing good comes in your comfort zone. And the idea that if we want something, we have to strive to move away from what we are comfortable with and take a risk to get the better reward. And I have been very fortunate thus far in that I do have that mindset, but also I found that a lot of good things have come from me just being in my comfort zone. I've been very fortunate with the opportunities that have been provided to me. Now, yes, I put myself in certain positions where they could come to me, but at the same time, there was still this aspect of I was still in a comfort zone. And in the past couple of years, I've definitely realized more and more how effective stepping out of the comfort zone with reason is compared to just stepping out of it. Because when I was younger, I always thought, oh, well, I don't know what's outside of my comfort zone, so therefore I would be stepping away from everything I know. And never did anything. I was always the person who kind of just stood back and watched other people do it. Whereas in more recent years, I've come to realize that, oh, wait, there is other paths already out there for me to look into. There are other paths that are connected to what I currently do. But to properly achieve them, I'd need to take that step out of the comfort zone. So I think the real thing isn't just to blindly step out, it's more to have a plan when stepping out. And it doesn't need to be concrete, but I guess plan is the wrong term. I think I'm talking more about having a direction to go in, because there's no point in trying to swim one way and then swim another way only to find yourself back at the beginning. Having a direction to swim in gives you leverage to then go, okay, cool, I've made it this far. For instance, out of high school, during high school, I was a very introverted, very quiet person that kind of just kept to their own and didn't really stand out much. That's what I was comfortable with. I was never the person to go out and strive for something that wasn't already mine. And again, I was comfortable in that. That was an existence in which I was aware of what happens when I do certain things. And because I was still so young and I was still in high school, there was that blanket of, oh, well, I can do nothing right now and life will be great. However, when I started to move away from that, I started to go to uni, I started to interact with new people, new cultures, new experiences in general. I started to understand that there is so much more out there in comparison to my little section of the world that I've carved out for myself. And since then, I've slowly started to try and develop things. For one, I can now confidently talk for hours on end if needs be about any topic that I know, or just having a conversation. In high school, that would have absolutely terrified me and just destroyed me in general, but now I technically get paid to do that. But the idea there is that I would have never known that should I have stayed in that little comfort zone. And there are small things like that where it was a case of, oh, well, maybe I should try my hand at voice acting, maybe I should try my hand at design, maybe I should try my hand at just reaching out to companies to see if I can do a free internship or if they want to become a client. These are all things that were not comfortable for me. These are all things that in my professional career terrified me. But I knew that by taking these steps and having that direction to go in, that there would be some sort of result, even if that result is just knowing what path not to take in the future. And I've been very fortunate to have had that realization for sure. It's definitely helped in a lot of regard, but it also has become this sort of almost detrimental aspect to it, where in everything I do, be it creating art, be it telling stories, be it having a certain career, every time I start to become comfortable, I find myself questioning whether or not it's the comfort I want to end with. And thus far, I've not found a comfort that I want to, I guess, just stay with for the rest of my life. I want to achieve more. I want to strive for more. That is something that I now have. There is an idea that I want to leave a mark on this world that is greater than I. And That may be egotistical, call it what you want, but the idea is that there is a northern star that I can start walking towards. And with that comes certain actions that I know are definitely outside of my comfort zone. Hell, recording and posting these videos is a huge discomfort for me because it's actually giving an insight to what I'm thinking. And again, it's not that I'm afraid of sharing what I think, because that's mainly the reason I'm doing this, but the idea that I could be judged for this is where my comfort zone starts going, oh, others now have an insight to who you are and what you do. And that terrifies me. The idea that, oh, I'm not this perfect client, or oh, I'm not this perfect designer that can fix all your things. I'm not this perfect teacher. I'm fallible. I'm all these things, but at the same time, there is a humanity in that I know is far more valuable. There is a documentation in this that I can look back and show my grandkids going, here is the problems that I was having at the age of 26. Here were the thoughts that I was having while I was trying to reevaluate who I was and what I wanted to do. These videos are as much a thing for future generations as they are for me. And although that is uncomfortable, I know it is something that it is part, in its core form, it is something that is part of the end comfort that I want. I want to be able to look back and go, here is that journey that I had, and here is the mistakes I made, here is the things that I did that may not have been the best choices, but now they are there in this digital form for you to consume. And I could write it out, I could write a book, but I definitely want this aspect of hearing my voice, showing my work, and going forward, showing my face, even though I have tried it before. I do have a couple of plans to be sharing that don't really work in this format. I'll leave that for you to find out in the next couple of month or two. But getting back on the topic, I love my comfort zone. I absolutely love it. That's why it's the comfort zone. But I also hate that I love it. I hate that there is this innocent need to go, oh, well, for the next hour and a bit during the workday, let's just sit down and watch videos. I know that's not helpful for me. And I also know that working 24/7, burning the candle at, well, let's face it, just setting it on fire completely, is not helpful either. And somewhere in between that is where I want my comfort zone to be. And it's finding that sort of area and playing around in there to figure out what the next step is. I'm definitely going to be playing with this concept a lot more, finding those things that just bring discomfort and embracing them. Trying to find the things that, again, that future me will find comfortable. The one that can look back and go, I'm glad I made those choices, so now that I can live like this. There is a quote, and I always forget who says it, but basically it's the idea of do the things that others are not willing to do in order to live the life that others are not willing to live, or not capable of living, should I say. And the idea there is that I am making choices now that, although are uncomfortable, although at my very core make me go, oh, I really don't want to do this, they're the things I need to do. And I struggle with this. I am not that person that goes, cool, I'm just going to do this. There are so many things that I was meant to do today alone, and I'm like, well, technically I don't need to do that. Or, technically I can put that off until later, because at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. I'm the only one that's going to really know. And just that uncomfortableness is something that I hate so much. I hate the idea of putting myself out there, but I know that's exactly what I need to do. So, before I start ranting any more about this topic, I will leave it there. Once again, I will thank you for watching these things, and if you are watching them, please do send me a message, be it on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can reach me. Hell, even in the comments down below. Reach out and just tell me something that you find uncomfortable to do, that you managed to do. Because as small as it may be, sometimes those are the things that we need to celebrate the most. The fact that we are willing to step outside of our comfort zones and take those first few steps. Again, I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.